yourself a round of applause. Joy, praise, and worship this morning.
It was awesome.
Amen. Look and tell your neighbor, he's able.
He's able.
Wish I had a word prepared, but I don't preach on he's able. But that ain't what prepared this morning. That ain't what prepared. Good morning, everyone at COG this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see all y'all in y'all pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now we got a program planned after church. So I won't hold you long this morning so we can get into some of that good food that they cook and become more aware about breast cancer. This morning, the sermon is titled, What is Love? What is love? That's a word we hear a lot in the world today. We love our French fries. We love that new special Wendy's running, $1 any size. You know, we love a lot of things here in America. But I want to talk about the biblical definition of love. Because love is a word that we toss around so easily about so many things. But do we truly know what love is? The reason God gave me this sermon, I've been hearing our teenagers and our young people talk about boyfriends and girlfriends and liking somebody and all of this kind of stuff. I was like, man, they growing up. They growing up, you know. I ain't never heard them talk about that kind of stuff before. So I realized that we need a sermon about relationships, about dating relationships. So we're going to look at what can the Bible teach us about love? Now the Bible doesn't mention anything about dating, but there are lessons we can pull from the Bible that we can apply to our romantic relationships that we have with people. And in one verse, we're going to only turn 2 times. So the first verse I want to look at is 1 John chapter 3. And we're going to look at verse 16 and 18. So if you would, go ahead and turn to 1 John chapter 3, verse 16, and we're going to read verse 18 also. And for those who have the physical Bible, the book, you can go and put your finger on 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I'm going there next. Y'all electronic people, it's easy for y'all to switch. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. So in 1 John chapter 3, verse 16, it reads, This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. Verse 18, Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. The next time your boyfriend or your girlfriend or that person you crushing on tell you I love you, ask them, really? Ask them, really? Do you really love me? I mean, that's what Drake wanted to know. And next time he asks you that, because the Bible gives us an example of what love is. It says we have the perfect example of love because of what Jesus Christ did. It says Jesus Christ loved us, that he laid his life down for us, and we ought to lay our lives down for our brothers. As teenagers, you don't truly understand the full weight of I love you. We as boys, as teenagers, and we tell girls, I love you, and we tell boys, I love you. We don't truly understand the full weight of those 3 words. As guys and girls, we look at relationships differently. If you're thinking of it as a ladder, guys have physical needs they want met first. While girls, on the other hand, have emotional needs that they want first. So we think about it as rungs on the ladder. Guys won't move until they get that first rung met. So until they get that physical need met and they feel that love from that woman, then they're really now ready to climb higher up the ladder. But women, on the other hand, their first rung is emotional love, and they want that commitment from the male. But what women will do, they will skip that first rung and climb deeper to make sure the man is getting his need met. So that's why when you see females and males breaking up, and you see this, the women are just so heart-turning and they're crying on the movies, and I don't understand why he did me like this. It's because they climbed up the ladder higher than the man. And that's why we should not get into relationships with selfish desires. Instead, look what Jesus did for us. It says, this is how we know what love is. It says that Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. So the next time someone tells you, I love you, ask them, are you willing to die for them? Because it says, this is the perfect example that we have. It says that he loved us so much that he was willing to lay down his life. So until you're ready to die for someone, you don't really love them. Now my wife, some gunman come in here like it's you or her. Say, choose me. Because I love her. I'm willing to die for my family's sake. I'll take the blame. But we tell people all the time, I love you. Drake said, hey, Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Drake wanted to know, are you down with me? Ride or die. Will you die for me, Kiki? I highly doubt she would. When we're dating our Christian brother or sister, that's our brother or sister in Christ. So when we tell that person we love them, what we're telling them is, I will die for you. It says we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. Verse 18. It says, dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. Tell your neighbor, love requires some action. Love requires some action. You see, y'all young men, y'all gonna be telling a little female one day, you know I love you. You know I love you. And she gonna get tired of hearing it. She gonna say, I want you to prove that you love me. I want you, you heard that? You heard all? Did you hear all the females? Mm-hmm. They want you to prove that. They're tired of just hearing these words. It says that in verse 18, not there's love with words and tongue, but with actions and in truth. I couldn't imagine if every day I woke up and told my wife I love her, but I never put any actions behind it. I never showed her I loved her. I never got up and cooked her breakfast. I never got out and made sure the front yard was kept looking nice and clean. I never did any of these things. I just told her every day that I love her. Well, eventually she's going to get to the point and start scratching her head and start asking herself, well, do you truly love me? Because you're saying it, but I'm not seeing it. So as Christians, we're required to love people. And that requires some action. Jesus Christ loved us so much that he did the ultimate action of laying down his life for us. So next time someone asks you or tells you they love you, look at the fruit. Look at what they're showing. Are they showing you that they love you, or are they just saying it to you? So what I want to do is look at the characteristics of love. Now let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and we're going to read verses 4 through 7. To put a Bible on my Christmas wish list. Mine's tearing up here. Pages don't supposed to be hanging out like this. Give me a second, I'm getting there. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7. It reads, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. So we're going to look at these characteristics of love and see what truly does love look like. Now, I'm going to open up my relationship, and I'm going to be giving examples from me and my wife. I done got the okay. You know, at first I was telling her about it. She's like, oh, how long going to be about me? I'm like, well, that's the only relationship I'm in right now. So, you know, who else am I going to be talking about? So I done got the okay that I can give y'all these examples that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to go up and down for each one. And before I begin, I want to tell you this. In any relationship you're in, you got to learn how to communicate. Tell your neighbor, learn how to communicate. See, at before, when me and Danisha first started talking, she used to be upset at me. She's like, you don't never tell me your feelings. You don't never express to me how you feel. See, that's an emotional connection. And I had to begin to learn how to tell her how I'm feeling. She would always ask me, tell me something new. And she would do that every day. Tell me something new. I'm like, I don't know, man. And it would really require me to think about something, because I couldn't just come up with this, I went to class today or something like that. She really wanted to know something that was going on the inside of me. And I remember that was the first way that I told her that I love you. It was through a text message. And I had just got a class, I was hanging out or something like that, and she hit me with the daily, tell me something new. And I was like, I texted back, I was like, I love you. I don't even remember what she said. You remember?
Show me some action.
That sounds like what she said.
You did wrong for that.
But I remember the first time I told her I love her was through a text message. I was like, I ain't never had this feeling for nobody before. There's something new going on the inside of me right here. So I'm going to hit her with this right here. I love you. And as you can see, the love is still burning strong between us. So we're going to get into it. And the first one it says is, love is patient. The thing about love is, love knows how to wait for people. Love knows how to wait for people. One thing Danisha had to learn from me is, I done gave this example before, is she used to tell me every night I need to lock the door. I'm like, man, you know, I just wasn't used to just making sure the door is locked. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I'm finna get in the bed. But then she started speaking to me, you the protector of this house. And as I would lay there at night, them words would just hit me. And eventually I began to make sure the doors are locked every night. So what love does is, love will make you wait until that person is becoming the person God has called them to be. See, now in society, people get divorces for any reason. Oh, he ain't locking the doors at night no more. I'm finna move back with my mom. I'm done with this relationship. It's over with. But what love does is, it says, you know what? I'm gonna begin to speak over him, the person who God has called him to be, and I'm gonna wait till he becomes that person. She used to always talk about how I used to dress. Now I thought I was pretty fly, you know. Back then I was too fly then. Now I call myself 3 fly. You know, I just stepped it up a level. You know, I used to wear the jeans and the plain white T-shirt. Now I'm putting on suits and stuff. You know, that's another level of flyness right there. So what love does is, it makes you wait till that ugly duckling becomes a swan. See, some of us need to fall in love with the personality of that ugly duckling and quit waiting till he becomes that swan. See, we got to learn how to wait for people. Jesus was so patient with us, he died 2,000 years ago and waited for us to accept him now. He was just that patient. So, tell your neighbor, love is patient.
Love is patient.
The next thing it says is, love is kind. This goes back to that communicating. Now, my wife, she loves celebrating birthdays. I don't see it as a big deal. You know, what's the big deal about the day that you came into the world? Nobody care about that. But she sees it as a big deal, so guess what? I have to also view it as a big deal. So what love will do is, Love will make you go out on birthdays and spend all this money that you feel like you really ain't got, and take you out to restaurants that you really don't want to eat at, because love is kind. Love is kind. I remember when I used to take her to the movies. And every time we went to the movies, she would go to sleep. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm tired of spending this money right here. We can watch some Netflix instead of paying $10, $15. And guess what? She want to eat at the movies too. So that's even more money. But what love will do is, love will continue to take your wife or your girlfriend to the movies, even though you know she's going to go to sleep. One thing I do that annoys my wife is, when we in the car, I'm driving, I be pulling my chin hair, you know, and it feels so therapeutic to me. But to her, it gets on her last nerve. We have got to the point now where she don't even tell me to stop. She just look at me. And I know why she's looking at me if I'm over there tugging on my chin hairs. But because we're so kind to one another, we don't let those little things get to us. So you have to learn how to treat people who you're in a relationship with. Tell your neighbor, love is kind.
Love is kind.
The next one says, love is not jealous. It's not jealous. Love wants to see the other person have success. Now, me and my wife were in a relationship. We've been married for 5 years, I think. And
Yes, y'all have.
Christina confirmed it. And in this relationship, guess what? She makes more money than me. But guess what? I'm not jealous of that, because I understand that means she gets to pay more bills than me. So what love is not jealous. Love understands that I want to be here for this person when they're experiencing success, and I'm going to celebrate that success with them. The only thing that makes God jealous is when we don't put him first. When we're in a relationship with God, the only thing that will make God jealous is if he realizes he's not first in your life. So we have to understand and put God first. When you see your girlfriend or your boyfriend liking that other person's picture that you really don't like, don't be jealous. Just get over it. Get over it. That's your boyfriend. That's your girlfriend. They don't really like that person. They're just social media. It's just the internet. Mm-hmm. So we have to understand not how to get jealous of people. Tell your neighbor, love is not jealous.
Love is not jealous.
The next one, love does not boast. Love does not boast. So when Danisha gets paid, we get paid on the same day of the month, every day. And what Danisha does is she comes home and she's not bragging about her check. She's not looking at, oh, look at that little teacher salary you got. She doesn't brag. She doesn't boast about how much more money she makes from me. And guess what? She even get bonuses. I be like, man, you know all the stuff I do, we don't get no bonuses. She gets bonuses, and when she gets that bonus, you know what she asks me? She's like, baby, how you want to spend this money? She does not brag. She does not boast about it. So what I do is I don't brag and I don't boast about getting the summer off. When she's going to work in the morning, I give her a little kiss goodbye and say, have a nice day. I'm not bragging and look at you, you got to go to work and I'm sitting at the house. So what we have to do in relationships is we have to learn how not to boast. One thing Danisha always tells me is, she always tells me not to walk outside barefoot. And I just do it religiously. I don't even care. I do it all the time. And what done happened is, I done stepped on something. And something right now is bothering me in the bottom of my foot that I really need to go to the doctor for. But I haven't, and she see me one, she's like, why are you walking like that? I'm like, because the bottom of my foot hurt. I just stepped on something. I don't know what it is. But no, she did say, I told you need to quit walking outside barefoot. She didn't do that. I'm sure she probably thought it, but she didn't say it. So what we have to learn how to do in relationships is not how to boast. So when you're in a relationship with your boyfriend and your girlfriend, don't be boasting, I got my driver's license and you don't. Don't be boasting, I got a car and you don't. Don't be boasting that I make better grades than you and you don't. We have to learn how to treat other people. So when you're in a relationship, learn how not to boast. Jesus could boast on us. Jesus could boast. He'd be like, I saved your life, bro. You couldn't do it, bro. I did that, bro. He could be bragging and boasting for us. But he's so humble, he's so meek. And all he does is welcome us with open arms. So tell your neighbor, do not boast. Tell your neighbor, love does not boast.
Love does not boast.
Our next one, love is not conceited. Love is not conceited. Conceited is thinking that you're better than others. Now, me and my wife, we got different backgrounds, and one thing about my wife is she a pretty humble lady. You know, she could be conceited about how she grew up in Saraland and how I grew up in the hood and all these things. I was reflecting. I was like, man, I was talking to my mama this week, and I was like, Mom, I don't know how y'all did it. I only have 2 kids. They had 5. I was like, I don't know how y'all did this with 5 kids. And I was thinking about our home, and I was like, y'all raised us in a 3-bedroom home, 7 people. And we all turned out okay, for the most part. My sisters ain't here for y'all to see them, but I was the first one, so I got the most nourishment and care, so I turned out all right. And I was like, I don't know how y'all did it. And Danisha could be proud and conceited about, hey, she made better grades than me in high school and in college. She did that. She could be proud of that, and she could boast that and throw that in my face, but she doesn't. She never considers herself to be better than me, despite that we have different backgrounds. And that's what I like about Jesus. Jesus doesn't consider himself better than us because he left the perfect realm of heaven to come down to earth, to be born in a manger, to die upon the cross for us. He's not conceited. He's not proud, but instead he's humble. Tell your neighbor, love is not conceited.
Love is not conceited.
The next thing is, love is not rude. That's a big one. Fellas, we got to learn how to bite our tongues sometimes.
Hold on, that'd be the female.
Oh, I can't say females, y'all got to learn how to bite your tongues sometimes. Y'all got to learn how not to be rude to one another. See, sometimes I'll be in there watching the game, you know. I only get Saturdays for real to watch it. And sometimes she coming out talking to her mama for about the 10th time today. And she'll come in there talking loud. Like I ain't even watching TV. So I done learned that instead of going to the other room, getting all rude with her, know what I do? He's still on the rude side. He's still on the rude side. I done just learned to be patient, to cut the TV down, and maybe she'll realize how loud she is, and I just sit there and wait. Because what we have to understand is, love is not rude. So until she gets off the phone and maybe she'll realize that, I get that stare down. That means I need to go into the other room. Because, you done already talked 9 other times. Ain't nothing changed since then. And I don't know if my wife the only one that talked to her mama that much, but my sisters do the same thing. When I was with I went up to home for the holidays or something like that, and I was with my mom, I was like, why are they calling you so much? And she's like, we just talking. About what? Like what? And I don't get it, but love is not rude. Tell your neighbor, love is not rude.
Love is not rude.
Love is not self-seeking. In other words, love is not selfish. So what love says is, instead of saying, what can I get out of this relationship? It says, what can I give to this relationship? See, love does not go into the kitchen and cook enough for one person without even asking the other person that they want something. My wife said, I was asking her for some examples of some things I do. She said, well, one thing you do is you'll go to the store and buy yourself some snack and don't even buy me none. I'm like, I never realized that until you told me. but that goes back to communication. That goes back to communication. We have to learn how to communicate with one another. So from now on, when I go to the store and, I like the little Debbie cake. I get the Swiss rolls and the honey bun. Me and Kaylee, we be snacking it up. And I really don't, she don't like little Debbie, so I guess I got to start looking for the kind of snacks that she likes so I can get her some snacks too. So what love is, it's not selfish. Jesus loved us so much, he says, I'll give you the keys to the kingdom. He says, I'll give you grace. I'll give you mercy. Everything I'm going to do is add to this relationship and not take away from this relationship. So tell your neighbor, love is not selfish.
Love is not selfish.
We almost done. We about halfway there. Love is not easily angered. Love does not get mad every time you drive the car and then you eat gas. That doesn't get love angry right there. So some people can relate. Love does not do that. Love does not get mad every time you clean the car out and it's dirty one day later. Love don't get angered. Love does not get easily angered. Love doesn't get upset when you knocked out sleep and they wake you up to come kill a roach. That doesn't make love angry right there. That doesn't make them angry. Love doesn't get mad when you park on the grass, even though I asked you 100 times not to do it, and now it's looking like a little driveway. Love doesn't get easily angered by these things. So what we have to learn how to do is just be calm. Keep calm. Be humble. When your boyfriend or girlfriend, you see them have the little green icon on social media saying they active, and you done called and texted them and they ain't called you back, love don't get angry. Look, Hakeem like, man, you don't even know. You don't even know. Love doesn't get angry at those things. When you're sitting there complaining about, oh, I could be eating this, I could be eating that, but you don't eat it, so I just got to sit here and suffer. She say, that's what I do. She doesn't get angry. And I do that a lot right there. So I always tell her that she got a bland palate. She want to eat spaghetti every night of the week. Like, come on, we need to try some different stuff. But so I get to complain. I talking about liver and rice one day. See, those children know what I'm talking about. Children say, that's good. That's good. If it wasn't for liver and rice, I wouldn't be here today. And beans, you know what I'm talking about? Cheap stuff. Salmon croquettes and rice. Cheap, right out the can. I say salmon should be in the can, Mama. We shouldn't be eating this salmon out of can, Mama. It's not right. But those things doesn't make love easily angry. So tell your neighbor, love is not easily angry.
Love is not easily angered.
This the big one right here. Love does not keep a record of wrong. Y'all hear me, women? Yes. Love does not keep a record of wrong.
Say it one more time.
Love does not keep records of wrong. See, the women, they got a mind like an elephant when it comes to what you done did wrong, but they can't remember what was on the shopping list. You know what I'm talking about? So what love does is, love is not about how much stuff you can hold on to, but instead, how much stuff you can get over. I'm going to say that again. Love is not about how much stuff you can hold on to, but instead, how much stuff you can get over. Because one thing you're going to have to learn how to do in a relationship is, you're going to have to learn how to forgive that other person. That other person is not going to always refill the tissue, even though it's 4 spots for tissue and it should never be empty. They're not going to always know how to do that. So you're going to have to not keep a track record of how many times they done left the tissue holder empty. You're not going to have to do that because you're not going to keep a record of their wrong. You're not going to keep a record of how many times he laid there asleep at night and you kept waking up to get the baby even though you think he was woke and you think he really heard that baby crying and he could have got up. You're not going to keep a record of that.
Assuming stuff.
See, a suicide, that was my principal call it. Yeah. Said, don't assume stuff, you're going to commit a suicide. Love, let me give you one more example. Okay, I got 2 more. Love does not keep a record of how many times the trash was overflowing, even though you weren't even at home to take it out.
What?
see, some people got this stuff going on in their relationship. See, some people got this going on. See, Pastor Brandon back there laughing. Don't look back there. Don't look back there.
I like you.
Love does not keep a track record of how many times she done used your brush, even though you the one that bought her own brush. Love doesn't do that. So love, we have to understand, just as Jesus did, how to forgive one another. Jesus offers us forgiveness. He doesn't hold all that wrong we did before we met him against us. Instead, he welcomes us with open arms, and he puts us on this purple robe, and now we're part of the royal family, and he says, welcome to the family. So what we have to do is learn how to forgive. So I'm going to switch it up. Say love knows how to forgive.
Love knows how to forgive.
The next one. Love rejoices with truth and not evil. What love enjoys is, love enjoys seeing you do the right thing. Love does not enjoy seeing you mess up. So when you express to your friend and you tell them that I want to get in shape and I want to start eating right, when love sees you drinking that little 8-ounce bottle of water, love rejoices with you. And he tells you, good job. And as you will continue to eat right, love will continue to rejoice with you. When you come home from work and you're telling your husband or your wife how the boss made you feel and what the boss made you want to say, but instead, you let the Holy Spirit take over. Love says, good job. When you're complaining to her and telling her how this kid made you want to do something that you know probably would have made you lose your job. But instead, you let the Holy Spirit lead and guide you in that situation. Love rejoices with you in those victories. So love. So another teacher in here, I heard that. So what love would do is it rejoices with truth and not evil. Tell your neighbor, love rejoices, with truth, not evil. We got 4 more. Love protects, love trusts, love hopes, love perseveres. These gonna be it. I'm gonna fly through these real quick. Love protects. What love does is love wants to keep you safe. Love doesn't want to see you hurt. So when you're in a relationship and someone hurts you, you usually ask, how could you do that to me if you love me? Because it says love protects that person. One thing we was going through, Honda had a recall on my car. And the recall been out for about, I know since this summer sometime. And they've been sending us all these post messages and now they begin this, about 2 weeks ago, they had people from the Honda coming to your house, letting you know it's a recall, hanging stuff on your doorknob. I'm like, okay, this might be a little serious. I might need to go and go. But I didn't want to go with God. Like, man, that's inconvenient, man. I got to go to Honda one Saturday. I already don't like being over there on my Saturday. But she kept telling me, you need to get this car fixed. You need to get this car fixed. So finally, they sent me this postcard, and they had a picture at the bottom of this lady who was in the accident. And what was happening was the airbags had melted with them, and they was exploding. And then there was like, 11 people that died and 200 people have been injured. You really need to get this recall. And that was the one that finally made me say, okay, I'm finna call now. But all this time, Nisha understood how dangerous it was for me to be riding in that car. And she wanted me to be protected. So she continued to tell me, you need to get that recall. And just like, you know what, I'm just gonna call. I'm like, you don't know my schedule like that. You can't just be scheduling me for stuff. So I made the call because she wanted to see me protected. But love not only wants to see you physically protected, it wants to see you spiritually protected. So what someone who loves you will do, a person that loves you will also pray for your protection. So tell your neighbor, love protects.
Love protects.
Next one, love trusts. Love will trust you until you break that trust. So I told my teenage boys, don't put yourself in a situation where your girlfriend is telling you, you got to earn back my trust. So because that means that you done messed up, my brother. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation because she gonna trust you until you mess it up. So we have to learn how to enjoy that trust and enjoy building that relationship and not mess that trust up. Tell your neighbor, love trust.
Love trust.
Love hopes. Love always looks forward to what can happen. Love always says, I know right now it ain't looking good, but one day he or she will do so and so. So what love is hope. Jesus looked at us and he said, I know they're enjoying this life of sin right now, but one day they will accept me as their Savior. So Jesus has that hope, and we should have that same hope in our relationship. Tell your neighbor, love hope.
Love hope.
We at the end. We at the finish line. Love perseveres. Love will persevere when times are hard, and only love can carry you through. Love will persevere when your money is looking funny and your change is looking strange. Love will keep you pushing through that situation. So our final one, tell your neighbor, love perseveres.
Love perseveres.
If you would, please stand.